Today, I'll be experimenting with a really deep visual novel. End of Lines by developer and publisher Novabox is a gripping, thought-provoking, interactive graphic novel set in a gritty, post-apocalyptic world brought to its knees by climate change. In this narrative-heavy, choice-driven experience set in Southern Europe, we get a sneak peek at perhaps a not-so-distant future. Thought-provoking indeed. Thanks to the publisher for the review key. Let's get this experiment started. Okay. Nora. Okay, I guess we're just jumping right in. Okay, Nora. But mother, you can't give up. Nora glares at me, her face rigid with anger. I don't answer straight away. I look through the gap between the hangings at the blinding light that strikes at the arid ground. I cannot go out before nightfall anymore. Okay, I like the graphics. If I attempt, I will founder, struck down by the breath of the Dejins. I hardly recognize the landscapes of my childhood in this barren wasteland. Our lands have always been arid, but before there were oases and a semblance of peace, journeys were always attended by song. That time has passed long ago. Today, the dance of the burning winds is fiercer and fiercer. I hear it like the senseless rhythm of the dissonant tides or tindies, and I know I have no time for the falling into melancholy. I have to explain my decision to my daughter. Okay, I'm guessing we're playing this character called Nora. Matriarch. Nora, do you remember the fable, the lion, the panther, the tahori, and the jackal? My question discerns her. Her anger abates a little. Yes, mother. Okay, I guess we have a decision here. I'm going to ask, what lesson do you think you can learn from it today? What do you mean? Oh, we're playing the matriarch. Okay, would you prefer to be in the place of the jackal or the tahuri? She frowns. The jackal is tricked from start to finish. The tahuri is much smarter. But I would still prefer to be the lion who takes the largest share. Don't you agree, mother? Okay, I'm going to go with I prefer the panther. I prefer the panther. That's the most that's the most desirable option, of course. The panther, forgotten by everyone. See, she may be forgotten, but she does not submit. We have neither the claws nor the fangs of the lion. In any event, power is a curse. Let the others brawl over the scraps. Let us take our small share without fuss and keep ourselves safe. I beckon her to come and help me up. She comes immediately, and we take a few steps across the worn rugs that cover the floor. Anyway, it's been a very long while since there were any lions or tahuris or jackals. That is true, but I have something else on my mind right now. How old is your son, Nora? He'll be 7 next spring. So many years we've passed trying to leave this desert. Yes, mother. How many companions have we lost? She looks away. 21. I'm going to stroke her hand and, offer some comfort, as a mother should. I stroke her hand. She hides her sorrow, but I know that each one of their names is carved on her heart. We cannot continue like this. Our tribe is no more than an exhausted huddle. We're too slow, and the heat will kill us all in the end. Nora, and do you truly believe that staying here will save you? Matriarch, we can certainly survive for a few moons. Your task during that time will lead the most stalwart among us to the welcoming place. But Mother, I don't want to leave you. Listen to me, Nora. I've reached the end of my journey, but you haven't. She tries to interrupt, but I raise my hand for silence. You and Rafiq, you'll choose from the volunteers. Yeza, Celia, and her brother Amni will certainly go. You'll take also your son and your husband, Camille. He'll be your guide to find a better land. Camille, our guide. I allow her a few seconds to digest this information. Yes, Nora, you have all the qualities of a great war chief, but to survive this time needs a panther, not a lion. She nods. I understand, Mother. I take her hands. Of course you understand. You didn't choose him by chance, after all. Yes, perhaps I've always known. Good. So go on and get him. I need to speak to him. Then gather everyone together. I'll announce my decision at nightfall. Okay, so far the game is okay. I definitely like the visuals, and I like the story so far. It seems very intimate. Let's continue on. Nora leaves my tent. I sit back down to await the coming of the gentle-hearted Outlander. He's an intensely just man, and he's also the only one among us who knows the ways into the north. The only one who could navigate amongst the wreckage of this world adrift. A few minutes later, he enters, swathed in the blue robe that Nora made for him. Camille's poise has increased with these past years. The journey suits him. He comes toward me with deference. I suppose Nora has explained why I've summoned you. Yes, she has, Matriarch. So, will you agree to guide the company through the remains of this world? His gaze is far away for several seconds. I have no idea what life outside this desert is like now, nor if there's any life left. It's true that we've had no contact with the outside for several years. The last we heard, wars, epidemics had struck all the cities. That was more than 10 years ago. There can't be much remaining outside the desert. I fear to find nothing but ruins. He takes a moment to consider. Where should we go, in your opinion? I suggest that you return to where you came from. Our lands have become uninhabitable. I'm afraid that mine won't be any better, at least not for much longer. Each year the seasons are hotter and drier. That will have to stop someday. She says nothing but gives a little shrug. Won't it? Well, not necessarily. I'll let him explain himself. I want to hear this. There was a theory when I was young. It was called the Venus theory. What is it? If global warming reaches a certain magnitude, there are multiple tipping points which could lead the planet onto a path where the climate becomes out of control. He pauses, looking for the right words. That's to say that the phenomena triggered by the global warming would continue to either to add carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and would keep increasing the warming exponentially, and we could do nothing to stop it. The greenhouse effect would become so strong that it would eventually boil into the oceans, making all life impossible. I'm silent, shaken, in spite of myself, by this apocalyptic vision. They think that what happened on Venus they think that's what happened on Venus millions of years ago. The Venus theory. He nods. And you believe we're on the path to the same thing? I don't know. It's a very striking theory, but I think it's quite unlikely. I encourage him to continue. From what I understand, the climate would be more likely to stabilize once the carbon emissions has ceased. And in fact, I believe that's where we are now. So you're optimistic? Not really, because even if we concede that life on Earth is not in danger, the climate stabilization will take time, and I don't know what will remain of human race after the next century. Okay, guys. Well, so far this game it's okay. It's a good story so far. It definitely looks into what life could be like in the next 30, 40 years if climate change continues. But I think I'm just going to stop right here for today. I've enjoyed it. It's a good story. Yeah, there was no sunshine and rainbows in this one. The thought that this could actually happen one day, the thought that this may happen one day. Well, let's just say food for thought, right? I love the art style. The writing is top tier, and so is the score. End of Lines is available on PC, Linux, and the Switch. So, if you're into novels, graphic or otherwise, if you're into real-world stories talking about real-world issues, then this may be the experience for you. Thanks again to the publisher for the Steam key. I'm Amadi, and you can find me on YouTube at No Temptations. You've been watching The Experiment here on the Lab Video Game TV, where our game is never over.